Good morning, everybody. It's time for Healing with the Blues. Healing with the Blues. That's right, I'm healing with the blues. I've got nothing left to lose. That's why I'm healing with the blues. Such a pain inside. The love that's there for me, I have denied. I've never had the blues this long, this deep, this wide. That's why I'm healing with the blues. Hey, it's a beautiful morning here in Iowa. I hope you're having a great day. I was just reading about people receiving information in dreams, not what you think, but it was about somebody who created a truffle farm in North Carolina, and truffles are notoriously difficult to cultivate. And the scientist received his information in a dream about what to do and what to put into it, and he won't tell anybody what it was, but it's working, and they're growing thousands and thousands of truffles in North Carolina, in the pines of North Carolina. So I want to bring that up because your dreams are meaningful, and it's another way for Source to talk to you, to get in conversation with you and get in connection with you. So, lots of things happens in dreams. I want to show you something, if I can turn this the right way. See that chart right there, the one that's apples? That's a feelings chart. I use that every day when I'm working with my clients. The upside down apple is negative feelings. The right side apple is positive feelings. And that chart was given to my mentor and teacher, Dr. M.T. Morter Jr., in a dream. And when I learned about his healing method, bioenergetic synchronization technique, we call it BEST for short. And I asked him, I said, how did you get this? How did this come to you? Because he put together a lot of different physiological aspects of how bodies and humans work, but in a way I hadn't heard. It had aspects of breathing and yoga and consciousness. It was just kind of amazing. And the whole time I was sitting in the seminar, I was just nodding my head because it all made sense to me. And he said, I went to sleep with a question and I woke up with an answer. And I said, hey, that's good enough for me. Quantum healing is not about double-blind studies, people, because we're working with living systems. So it's a different way of dealing with the world, but it's also science. Don't let anybody tell you it's not sciencey. It's pretty sciencey. So I hope that you're interested, because we have someone with us today. That's why I'm on StreamYard today, because I'm going to interview a wonderful woman who's doing some amazing work with children and their parents. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. Misha Safran is a joy and resilience coach for busy parents and their school-age children. She helps students between the ages of 10 to 20 to improve their executive functioning skills, navigate school and family expectations, stress less, and feel more confident in their pursuit to live and laugh in life rather than just survive it. Misha also works with parents to strengthen parenting skills, to know when to jump in and when to jump out, to learn to take time for themselves without guilt or shame, and to experience their family as they once dreamed. And she knows what she's talking about because she has children. Let's welcome her to our lovely stream today. Hi, Misha. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tanya.
For people to hear about what you're doing. I'm just kind of trying to shuffle myself around a little bit.
I know, me too. I'm in a different environment. I'm in such a different place right now because I'm traveling, so I'm trying to adjust also.
This is so great. I mean, the best time in the world to do, I think, healing, because we can get to so many people. And like I said, in quantum healing, time and distance doesn't really matter. So I want everybody to know that, even though what time zone are you in right now?
Right now I'm in Pacific Daylight Time.
Yeah, and we're in
so
Central.
7:30 in the morning. Yeah,
thanks for waking up so early.
Oh, I already had a meeting at 5 a.m. because I'm usually on the East Coast, so I'm adjusting.
So it's
That's the
midday for
beauty.
you.
Yeah, that's the beauty of working remotely, and that's the challenge of working
Oh
remotely.
my gosh, it is. So I'm excited because I want people to know about what you're up to, because this is, especially at this time, it makes it so much more important for us to know how to handle a session that I did a few months ago for students to talk about their experience, because there were a lot of adults talking about it, but there weren't so many students talking about it. And so we got a few people together and had a really interesting experience with that. And you can go back and look at that. I think I did a special group for that. So at any rate, let's hear what you're about. I want to know more about this.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So yeah, as someone who's raised 5 children, and my youngest is now 21, and I've been a teacher for over 30 years, I've worked with a lot of students and a lot of parents. And I decided that I was ready to bounce the school system and be a support and ally and liaison for the families. So I work privately. I work with students one-on-one, and then I actually am starting a group program for parents in August. But what I do is I help bring down the falsehoods out there as far as what our children should and can do at the age where they are right now. Executive functioning skills are often referred to with regards to students with ADHD or ADD or other learning developmental stuff. But really the term for executive functioning that translate for most people is adulting. And so
Right.
a lot of people are
Adulting, in case
expecting,
you missed
yeah,
that.
yeah, adulting. So a lot of people are expecting, kids who are in 5th grade, 7th grade, 9th grade, 12th grade to have these skills. And yet the frontal lobe, which is science related, right? We're talking science. The frontal lobe isn't really developed until 25, or at least ready to feel its way through life. And so here we are, saying, well, come on, kids, we want you to be organized and manage your time better. We want you to study for your tests, but we're not going to tell you how to study, because you really should know how to study. Just like we're not going to tell you how to clean your room, because you should know what a clean room looks like, right? And so it's about really what happens in a lot of families, not to anybody's fault. It's the way we've been raised, is we say, do this, but we don't show, take the time to show. Exactly. So,
We
I
need
could
to
have told
train.
we need to train. And so that's what I do. I train the students, and we have one-on-one. We build connection first, because they're not going to do anything from anyone if there's not a connection, because that's the way life is. You can say, buck up and do this because that your teacher told you to. But if there's no mutual respect or connection, it's really hard for kids to do that. And that's actually a good thing for them to be discerning, for them to be able to weigh out who's telling me this, who's showing me this. So we build connection. And then I show them, not just tell them, I show them how to manage their time, to get organized, to prepare better for tests. We do backwards planning. I actually show them how to do writing and research and to self-advocate for themselves. A student may have not understood an assignment, so instead of emailing the teacher to ask more specific questions, they chose not to do it, right? Because of the
Right.
fear of what was involved in sending that email. We also work on independent problem solving, planning and taking action, and what happens. In fact, I have such a wide range of students that one of my students, who is a current 6th grader, we're working on, we got through some of the organization stuff. He now has no missing assignments and has been that way for 4 months. But the quality of his assignments that he's been turning in hasn't been so great, because he's just wanting to get them in, right? So that he has no missing assignments. So now we're working on the quality of the assignments. Whereas another student of mine is going to be a senior next year, and we've been working on resumes and college applications and kind of role-playing interviews for jobs. So there's a lot of different things that I work with the students. The parents, I have parents who are still kind of trying to micromanage their kid, even though they hired me to do the micromanaging. So now I work with the parents to help them understand what my job is and what their job is. And their job really is to be a loving companion in the upraising of their children.
Yeah,
And they want their families back. They want their relationships
right,
back, right? So they want to stop
right.
nagging. They want to stop micromanaging, but it's
Yeah.
really hard. It's a hard habit to kick.
My son just turned 25 and he bought his first vehicle. And it was probably a month-long process for him because he moved to another state. He didn't have his birth certificate. He had to
Yeah.
change his license. He had to do all this. And I said, this is never going to be this hard again. This time is the hardest. But as we always say, until you're 25, your brain isn't fully formed. So
Right.
congratulations. And
Yeah.
allowing that, allowing to have steps in development in how you're showing children how to do things so that it's at their level and not just a given is very important. Now, it's a little different when you're trying to train them and they say they don't want to be trained. Like, okay,
Yes.
then you
Yes.
figure it out on your own then,
Mm-hmm.
because unless I show you how I want this done and how it works, you're not going to know. You're going to have to go through a lot of trial and error. So let me just show you once and see if you can pick it up. And then if it doesn't work, then we can do it again. But you have to give them the choice to be able to learn how to do it.
Right.
Whatever it
And
is.
choice is really, 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 can I emphasize that more? Really important.
Yeah, I can
Choice
show
is
you how to
very
clean your room,
important.
or you can clean your room and have me come in and say that's not right. Which would you rather have? Because it'll be more fun if we do it together. And then you'll know, oh, this
Yeah.
is what it's supposed to look like. Okay, good.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, and even when I work with my students, I will ask them, option A, B, C.
Right,
What do
right.
you like about which choice would you prefer? Because if we don't give choices, then there's also this sense of overwhelm and they don't know where to begin. They just don't.
Absolutely. There's not, if you have to be especially with some children, you have to be extremely specific about what you want first, second, third. And
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
you just give them 1 and 2 and not 3,
Hmm.
because 3, oh,
Hmm.
now you're overwhelmed. So
Hmm.
just 1 and
Yeah.
2.
I mean,
So
if anybody ever goes to the grocery store to try to buy mustard, aren't you overwhelmed? I mean,
why is there so much mustard? Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's so many options. In fact, I went to the store a couple days ago to buy yogurt, and I was like, really? I wanted almond yogurt, but there was like literally, I was surprised at how many different choices there were. Of course, they did not have almond yogurt, but they had everything else.
That's
But yeah,
right.
so the children, when you tell a child, or when you suggest to a child to study, and they're like, okay, well, maybe the only thing they've ever learned for studying is to read the book and reread it and reread it. But there's so many different methods. And what I will say is, and I always need to and like to give credit to my mentor with regards to the work I do with students, and that is Gretchen Wegner. Gretchen Wegner created the anti-boring approach to powerful studying. And
Oh,
it's
love that.
wonderful. It is wonderful. And so it gives me the tools to then give my students the tools. Now, I have that in conjunction with all of my experience that I've had as a teacher. But I do love it. And I do mention it on every interview I go to because I'm very proud of Gretchen's work. And I have found that it's based on brain science. And so it's
Hmm.
very helpful to help the kids understand how their brains are or are not working at their age. Right. And
Absolutely. They
so,
need to know who they are already, and
yeah,
not just assume that they're supposed to know these things. I can't
right.
emphasize that enough, because so many children are just kind of left to their own devices to be able
Hmm.
to allow them to know, you can't talk about this yet with me because your brain isn't fully developed. And I remember having these conversations with our children and going, oh, they can talk about this now. This is so great. They can understand what's
Right.
going on here now. This is so cool. So you're getting to experience what it's like to have a brain develop right in front of you
Hmm.
and
Yep.
bloom like a flower. So
Yeah.
having
And
somebody like you,
if you're open to it and you're willing to see it, then it goes by more smoothly. But there are a lot of
so
parents, and this is why I work with parents. There are a lot of parents who don't understand that process. And again, it's no fault of their own. They're busy. There's a lot they're juggling. There's a lot of balancing. And sometimes we want things done and we want them done now.
right.
Right. And so but wanting them done and wanting them done now, it ends up taking 45 minutes instead, because there's that misfire of understanding between the two parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say that like I'm like the hobby gardener and you're like the master gardener who comes in and shows me which plants need to go together so that they can bloom better. That's what
I love the analogy, and it's funny because I am so not a green thumb.
Well, then now you can consider yourself a master gardener of little human brains.
Yeah, and parenting. You know, I've had a lot of parents that I work with. Oh, are you there? Okay, yep. Okay, I've had a lot of parents that I've worked with who have actually felt some considerable shift for themselves. Like they have more time because they're not so much in their kids' business. They have more time because they're letting their kids fail forward. You know, they have some time because they. Oh, so I can hear you. I don't know if you can't hear me.
Yeah, you're just going in and out a little bit. So.
Oh, okay.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay. Yay. So when I'm able to help with the students reduce their
overwhelm. I'm trying to make sure that you're coming in here right, but it looks like you're going in and out. Let me in and out just a little bit. All right.
Yeah, your picture is fuzzy.
Things off here, so that might help too. Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, I know there's a lot of things going on here. I don't know what's really what the deal is, but I'm closing all kinds of things down. So,
okay.
I'm watching you.
Yeah, I'm
watching you.
I was just saying that
that's so amazing about what you're doing is that you're helping so many people at the same time. So you're experiencing having the parents and the children. And do you work with them together at all, or is it always separately?
Yeah. So that's what I'm glad you asked that. So in my academic life coaching for students, there's a parent component where I actually meet with for example, let's say I have Joe. Joe is my student, and he has two parents, whether they're married or not, or whatever their orientation is. They will meet with me for 20 minutes once a month. You're not hearing me?
I know, we kind of lost that. I'm wondering if you can go back.
So
can you go back a little bit and talk about that at the beginning, because you kind of went out during that.
Yeah, so just FYI, I'm watching Joe. Yeah, so just so you know, I'm watching the Facebook, and the transcription is showing that I am talking still. It is hearing me. But I will, can you hear me?
Good.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, so I work with the student. Yeah, I work with the student once a month. Once a week. And then I meet with the parents for 20 minutes on the second Monday of every month. And we talk about what's been going on for them, what's been going well, if there's anything I can support them with regards to their student. But then I also have parent coaching. I work with parents one-on-one, but if they want to, and that's separate from the academic life coaching contract. But then I also have a group program that's an academic year program where I work with them starting in August and we end in May. And I work with groups of parents together. It could be the couple comes together. It could be one parent of the coupleship comes. But I generally have, it's like a support group to work on common issues, even though the kids are of all different ages. And it doesn't have to be the parents of the students. So, for example, if somebody's listening to me and they don't want to hire me to work with their kid because their kid has a system, they can hire me to work with them in this group component. And so whether their child is 17 and another family's child is 10, there are very, very similar behaviors and actions that parents can work on to correct and to improve upon in that time together. And it's a wonderful opportunity for parents to talk. I have worked with step families. I've worked with, guardians. I've worked with foster parents. So it can be a very loving, supportive environment for parents to come together, twice a month to really enjoy and learn from each other.
Yeah, that part of it to me is like the creme de la creme, because what you're doing is you're creating community with that, and it takes a village, as we know. So it's a beautiful thing that you're doing. So I'm going to put in the comments below here your links and everything. So make sure that we send that so that we have the right link for you. So make sure you send it over to me. And I'm just excited to have you here and to talk about this. So normally I'm doing some healing during this session, and I'm wondering if there's anything that you'd like me to make sure that I work on today.
Oh,
you get to choose. And
that's
everybody
beautiful.
who's not in StreamYard, if you go to StreamYard.com just once and put your name in, then I'll see your comments here. But otherwise, I can't really see them. I'm looking on my phone, but I tried to turn that off because we were having some tech issues. So is there anything that's going on? Like, it could be something very general. You don't have to get specific.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I actually, because I do so much work on the computer now because of the remote, my neck hurts. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of neck pain, and I would love to heal my neck.
All right. Well, I'm going to go in and see what that's all about. And so I'm going to take a moment here. While I'm doing that, I'm going to have everybody, even those of you who are watching on replay, if you're having a neck issue or you've had any issues with your neck, or let's just say your whole spine, okay? Mm-hmm. Just put yes in the comments that you would like this in healing, and you'll also receive it. So don't worry if you're watching this on replay, you'll get the healing too. That's the beauty of quantum healing. Doesn't matter if it's time or distance, it's still going on. Mm-hmm. While I'm doing that, what I'd like you to do is put your attention on your breathing. And I want you to imagine that as you breathe in, you're breathing all the way up through the top of your head, through your crown chakra, up into love, light, source energy, up into the center of the universe. And at the top of that breath, just hold it for a moment and then exhale. And as you exhale, let the energy from the center of the universe come all the way down through all layers, all levels, down through all the chakras, down through your feet, into the core of the earth. And as you get to the bottom of that exhale, just hold it for a moment and then let it drop back in and go all the way back up through your body, up into the center of the universe. And just keep breathing like that. Good. We're healing flexibility. We're healing being able to move in any direction. We're healing anything that's made us throw our head back, anything that's jolted us, anything that's sudden. We're healing all of those things right now. Just putting your attention on that healing. And as you breathe up into the center of the universe, I'll say these words in the I am. God is all there is. Love is all there is. Light, life, and source energy is all there is. And I recognize right here and right now that I'm one with God, love, light, life, and source energy. And I'm never separated from this energy. If I feel separated, I know it's a false feeling. And all I have to do is breathe in, inspiration, and exhale, gratitude. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be able to have this time set aside for myself to do healing, to allow healing to come in, to know that I am connected, that my body and my mind are connected through my neck, and that whatever slings or arrows I have suffered at my neck, I know that I am connected, that I am here, that I am flexible, that I'm willing to look in all directions, that I see around me. I can see patterns in my life around me. I can open my eyes and my third eye to see what is keeping me from my highest good. I allow that information to come in. I say yes, 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 yes to more information about me so that I know how to stay connected, be connected, and allow whatever's in my way to dissolve into love. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to recognize that my spine is this beautiful encasement for my central nervous system, knowing that it is the communicator of everything in my life, that I treat it beautifully, that I love it, that it can be so flexible, even though it's surrounded by bone, and it goes out in all directions throughout my body, and I can experience the world around me through this. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful for all the support that I receive in my muscles, tendons, and ligaments. I'm grateful for all of those things that are keeping my head above water, that are keeping me not just treading water, but thriving and surviving and creating and being able to propel myself through this time in my life. And I'm so, so grateful. I authorize my subconscious to let it be so, to dissolve any constrictions or contractions, keeping me from my highest good. I say thank you to all my guides, guardians, and angels that surround me, all those who have passed on before me, that are looking out for me, that are cheering me on. I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And to all those here on the physical plane that are helping me to create the lessons that I need in my life. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to move closer to Source every day in every way. I let it go and know that it's already done. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Misha.
That was
How's
delightful.
your doing now?
It's pretty good. It's gonna, I will have faith that it will be fine today.
Yeah, it's already clearing up. I'm so grateful to have you here, and thank you so much for your time today. And like I said, I'm going to put Misha's information in the comments below so that you'll be able to get in touch with her. I know there isn't a parent out there that doesn't need some assistance. I mean, it's one of the toughest jobs in the world, and nobody really studies for it. I don't think they really don't. So we need to learn.
If they do, it may not have to. If they do, it may not pertain to them because they have a different situation. So it's kind of hard. That's a hard one to study. But I will say that people can, when you give them my website, they can sign up for a complimentary consultation. I offer a 45-minute complimentary consultation, and I do have a stress less school readiness program starting July 19th for the kids. So I'm only taking 10 students. It's July 19th to August 26th. It's basically it's an hour a week that the kids have to invest. So if you have a problem convincing your student, just tell them they'll have a good time with me and we'll be good. So it's kind of like a camp once a week, but yeah.
Yeah. And if you're watching this on replay, make sure that you do that because you're going to learn more in the consultation too. Because I know Misha and people that we work with and our colleagues, we all give a lot during our consultations. So, it's worthwhile to do that and share this with your friends who have kids and are going to school. So please feel free to share that. And I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. And thank you for your time
I appreciate
today.
Being here.
And I know that you're going to feel more flexible. And you know what? You said neck. I've been having a little trouble with my neck in the last 2 days. So that was perfect.
Oh, so that's perfect for you too.
What's going on with me? So yeah, it's healing for everybody. For sure. Thank you so much, Misha.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you. You too.
For sure.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.